This is Masters Report, and I'm John Masters. I know you guys have heard it, but was it a con? Have we been being played? I know you've heard the statement by police departments, and they love to bring this up about how traffic stops or the most dangerous police encounters that they're going to come across. Many police officers, it's dangerous. They die, they get hurt. 261 in just the last 12 months. They use it as a justification for the force and the things that they make us go through, such as we're in a traffic stop, get out of the car, put your hands on the hood. But wait a minute, we're just being, I just need to make sure you're not carrying any weapons because this is dangerous. I could get hurt. 261, something like that. 261 cops have died. So we have to use overwhelming force. We have to make sure that we have you subjugated. Maybe that's not quite true. You see, I come across this article here, and it puts things into perspective because anybody that watches my channel, you all know I like to put things into perspective because people tend to want to spin things to their benefit. Why many police traffic stops turn deadly? It's not really many, but they kind of get into it. And I really kind of like the stats that they brought up on this. Of the roughly 280, oh, I was wrong. I said 260. I meant to say 280. Of the roughly 280 police officers killed on duty since late 2016, wait a minute, 2016, that's over the last 4 years or so. Huh. Around 60 died, mostly from gunfire, by drivers who were stopped, according to an analyst by the Times. About 170 other officers were killed in work-related accidents. But the increased risk claims ignore context. Vehicle stops far outweigh any other type of police traffic involving citizens. In other words, interaction with citizens. So now, we must ask ourselves, what are the real numbers? How dangerous is it really for police officers in a traffic stop? You guys ever notice that if there's any question as to your identity or something, 4 other cops will show up and they'll say it's for our safety because, again, it's the most dangerous encounter police have with the public. But let's see here. With police stopping so many cars and trucks, tens of millions each year, the likelihood of a police officer being killed every time a vehicle stops without accidents is less than 1 in 3.6 million. 2 studies have shown. At stops for common things, according to a 2019 study by, well, okay, so if it's 2019, then 280 cops from 2016 to 2019. Could be that, all right? Because I'm telling you what, 280 cops in 5 years is not many. 2 studies have shown. At stops for common things, according to a 2019 study by Jordan Blair Woods, a law professor at the University of Arkansas, the likelihood of traffic violation is only 1 in 6.5 million. 1 in 6.5 million. The risk is statistically negligible. Negligible. Got it. Negligible. But they're hitting me with 2. Accidentally exasperated, said Gill, Salt Lake County District Attorney, and a strong advocate of increased police accountability. State law generally prohibits police officers from using lethal force unless they reasonably consider it necessary to prevent impending death or serious injury. Under pressure from the street protest over the 2014 murdered Michael Brown, an armed, they always got to say black teenager. He's a teenager, okay? Let's stop all this division, all right? Doesn't matter what color he is. It doesn't matter. He was a teenager in Ferguson, Missouri. And the recent Black Lives Matter marches, many law enforcement agencies have made de-escalation their catchphrase. They often advise officers to defuse conflicts with drivers. For example, by listening carefully instead of just barking orders. Obviously, there are a lot of cops who have not gone through this program, because they still like to bark orders. I was at the park and I had the dog off the leash at the park. Cop comes up. Do you live here? Are you a resident? And I'm like, well, sort of, I guess, as of right now. I don't know. Well, are you a resident or not? In other words, she was barking orders. There, he even kind of covers this a little bit. And listen carefully instead of just barking orders. The last thing I have to try to exercise my authority. Like, you will do what I tell you because I told you to. Most people just don't like that, said John Blum, a former police officer who now has training materials for Rights Police Authorities and the International Association of Police Chiefs. The officer has to sell the person, which makes sense. The departments have increasingly included officers to have suspected lawbreakers driven away and later found in order to avoid the risk of possible confrontation or speedy prosecution. All right, I have brought this up when I was doing video reviews. Why is it? I mean, they had the ID, they had everything, so the guy started running, okay? And they shoot him because he's running from the cops. And I've always said, well, wait a minute. First of all, it was a traffic infraction that you pulled him over for. So, yeah, he did have warrants for failure to appear, whatever. It doesn't matter, okay? He knew he was going to go to jail and he was trying to make a run for it. Well, they have his ID, they have his driver's license, they have his car license number. They can pick him up anytime they want to. Anyways, to avoid. They have the guy's license plate, just like what I've been saying for years. They have the guy's license plate and know where he lives, said Scott Bieber, the Walla Walla, Washington police chief. However, some senior officers say that the emphasis on conflict avoidance can encourage criminals. Well, that's assuming then that everybody that you're pulling over is a criminal. Oh, you failed to hit your blinker. You broke an ordinance. It's not a law, it's an ordinance. So, yes, you're a criminal. I've actually heard people say, don't chase me, said Sergeant Sanford Swanson Jr., a patrol officer who also instructs Pro Train, the tactics coached in 38 states of vehicles. Sometimes leaving can still be dangerous. Yeah. Oh, but the guy's going to shoot you in the back. All right, carry on. Turn around and walking back to your police car, and they're going to shoot you in the back. Okay. That's what they want to say. All right, guys. Till my next video. I'm John Masters. This is Masters Report.